Good afternoon, everyone. I'm here to talk about how public schools will operate over the next seven days during this lockdown. So from tomorrow, if you can keep your children at home, you must keep your children at home. If you are an essential worker, if you are experiencing vulnerability, or if for some other reason you just can't keep your children at home, then your children can still attend their local public school. Public school teachers will spend this period of time moving and planning for and transitioning to remote education, should that be required after this initial lockdown period. This means that normal schooling won't happen during this week. The Education Directorate has spent the last year developing and refining a home learning library, which has a whole range of resources organised by year group that is accessible for families in the ACT during this period of time. You can go to the Education ACT website, search home learning, and there will be a whole range of activities that are available there through that online resource library. Children who do attend their public schools will be supervised and supported to access these home learning resources during this time. Teachers and school staff, if you are attending school, you must wear masks. If you are a child under 12, or you have a child under 12, they will not be required to wear a mask. If you have children attending school who are 13 and over, 13 years and over children must wear a mask. Public schools will also be checking in over the next couple of days and into next week with vulnerable families to ensure that they have everything that they need to be able to access this online learning library. So if they need access to devices like Chromebooks or access to internet services, that will all be provided by the ACT Education Directorate. We all knew that this lockdown was possible, and so the ACT Education Directorate, our public schools, indeed all our schools across all sectors in the ACT, have been planning for this. We've received feedback from our experiences last year. We've been working closely with our school communities, our school teachers, parents and PNCs, and we've been watching very carefully and learning from other jurisdictions as they've been going and experiencing lockdowns as well, on how their public schools are operating and the best way that we can support our school communities. For out of schools hours care and early childhood education, on the advice of the Chief Health Officer, these services can remain open during this snap lockdown for children who need to attend. But we are still encouraging families that if you can keep your children at home, please keep them at home. The mandatory mask wearing principles still apply to early childhood educators and parents, and the Check-in Canberra apps will be available at those settings as well. The same applies for out of schools hours care. They can still remain open, but if you can keep your children at home, please keep your children at home. For non-government schools, it's important that for Catholic and independent school communities that they listen carefully and pay attention to communications from those schools. However, the ACT Education Directorate will continue to work closely with those school communities to ensure that the Chief Health Officer's messaging and that our approaches with regards to that are consistent. So I guess I just wanted to reassure all our school families in our public schools and across all our schools and in every sector that our school teachers have been all preparing for this moment. None of us obviously expected it to occur so soon, and none of us really wanted to be in this space, but we are. We're fully prepared, and our teachers are ready to move to remote learning should that circumstance arise.